Welcome back. You're watching Mr. Jablonski's or Teacher Jab channel, and today we're going to be discussing the Shang Dynasty. The Shang Dynasty is one of China's earliest dynasties, and started around 1500 BCE, ranging to about 1050 BCE. A very successful and important dynasty in Chinese history. Over the next couple of slides, we're going to be looking at the location of the Shang Dynasty along the Yellow River. Let's write that out. And we're also going to be looking at the development of terracing, which is that stepped gradient on hillsides to help improve farming and also increase yields. We looked at this before, but we'll look at it again today. We're also looking at the Shang social hierarchy, which is a concept we've talked about numerous times. City life, manufacturing, which is a new concept that we haven't discussed before, and taxes, everyone's favorite thing. And of course, we're also looking at Chinese writing systems. And just to remind you what that looks like, here we have Zhonghua, which is Chinese for China, and this is pronounced Zhong, and this is pronounced Gua. And looking at the development of those writing systems in China, looking at from early pictographs ranging from thousands and thousands of years ago off of turtle shells, and looking at actually modern language and today and how it got to that level, and complications and simplifications as well. So let's turn the slide and let's look at this image. We're looking at a picture of the Shang Dynasty, and I want to give you a larger image to compare with the next slide it's reading. So I want you to compare this slide and make any connections with this text. And here's the image again, although feel free to look back. We're now going to do what we usually call an unsum. We're going to critically read this, a close read, carefully, looking at this slide and the next slide. And I want to look at important aspects of the text, any questions you may raise with the circle in the text, and connect anything from the text to perhaps the image or the other part of the text. We're going to take a couple of minutes to now unsum or carefully read this slide, comparing the text with the images, and I'll see you soon. Please pause the video. And you should have noticed in this text the importance of the agriculture and how the Shang used terracing or modified their environments. And, oops, let's try clicking here again, and adapted to their environment. This is important, and when we look at the terracing, and also the changing of the location of the capital. That's them adapting to their environment. So modifying would be the terracing, while adapting or adapted to their environment is actually changing the location of their capital. And we can see that on the map here. On the next slide, we're looking at the importance of family and nobility, and how that played a large role within the warrior leaders of this region and the Shang ruling classes. So them having larger homes might remind you of the Sumerians, and living in city walls might also remind you of the Sumerians from earlier chapters. So there are some connections from before. Now that we've had a little bit of discussion on that, I'd like for you to now turn to the next couple of slides, looking at questions 16, 17, and 18. And you're going to answer these with your partner using the responders. I'm going to pause the video now, and you're going to answer all three questions. After, we'll review and see how you've done. So please pause the video. Now that you've discussed those and answered those questions, let's go over. The main idea from all of these slides previous might actually lend more closely to climate and adaptation, although some of you might have talked about social classes. Either would be good, I suppose, depending on your opinion. I just wanted you to discuss that idea and see what you came up with. Let's move on to the next slide. How did climate and geography affect the location of the Shang capital? Well, looking at the monsoon rains from earlier in this chapter, there was a lot of flooding, and that was clearly one of the reasons why they had to move. The others doesn't make too much sense, so we're going to go with D. Moving on to 18. Again, we're seeing a male-dominated society, as we've been looking at in all of these chapters, and the son definitely had more privileges over the daughters. So A is the answer for that. Turning to the next slide, we're going to now, again, unsum, and here's a reminder of what I'm looking for in an unsum, this next text. And after, you're going to place these classes into their proper location along our familiar social hierarchy chart or triangle. So I'm going to give you a couple moments to please read through this or unsum this piece of text. Then we'll go to the graphic. You'll place those accordingly, and then we'll review. Please pause the video. Now that we're back, you should have discussed certain aspects of this, and also the Chinese symbols that we're using today. So we're getting into that writing, and that's a pretty important aspect. There was over 2,000 symbols expressing words or ideas. You may have also talked about the farmers ranked below, and where artisans had fallen. I think those are the bigger ideas from this text. And hopefully you've now filled in this chart. And of course, the royal family is very important. Your nobles might be on the fringe depending on what part or what time we're talking about, but they're extremely important. Of course, warriors, farmers, artisans, and once again, slaves, which we might actually put them below here. So now that we've done this, I want to take a moment and try something new. I'm going to try and show you a YouTube video on my YouTube video. So I'm going to pull this up. It's only about a minute long. Hopefully the audio works out. And let's see how this works. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Naomi, and I'm very excited to show you the world's greatest attractions. From the distance, the Yunnan landscape looks like marbled swirls of green, brown, and blue. It is only up close that you begin to appreciate the topography's massive scale. Each one of the swirls is an earthen terrace of human height for growing rice. These tens of thousands of rice terraces run up and down the hillsides of this southern Chinese province. The ponds of water in each terrace change color depending on rice growth and local weather. The Yunnan rice terraces are breathtaking at any time, but especially at sunrise or sunset. Thank you for watching our travel video series. See you next time.
Hopefully that worked out pretty well, but I believe this is all the time we have for today. So we're going to be ending here, and I cannot control time and space. The period has ended. Please, pack up. See you guys.